He said he would give a long speech. He was not wrong. Tuesday night's State of the Union address lasted 108 minutes, the longest in American history, surpassing Trump's own 100-minute record from last year, which had already broken Bill Clinton's 89-minute mark from 2000. For 1 hour and 48 minutes, the president made claims about the economy, about Iran, about wars ended, about tariffs, and about taxes. And virtually every major news organization in the country published detailed fact checks before the chamber had emptied. Let's go through what he said and what the record shows. Start with tariffs and income taxes. Standing at the podium, Trump said, "As time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love." NPR's fact-checking team noted that the federal government is currently collecting approximately $30 billion per month in tariff revenue, which is indeed far more than before Trump returned to office. But total federal income tax revenue runs approximately $250 billion per month. Even at its highest, tariff income has never come close to replacing income tax in American history. And independent economists say it cannot under any realistic scenario. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York found that 94% of Trump's 2025 tariff costs were passed directly onto U.S. consumers and businesses in the form of higher prices, not paid by foreign countries, as Trump repeatedly claims. This finding was published by the Fed itself. Governor Spanberger, delivering the Democratic response, cited a Joint Economic Committee report finding American families paid an average of $1,145 each in tariff costs between February 2025 and January 2026. Then there are the 8 wars. Trump said, "In my first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia." His list included Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India, Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and Gaza. NPR, CBS, and ABC's fact-checkers each reviewed the list. The assessment across all 3. Trump has had genuine diplomatic successes, but the claim of 8 wars ended is an exaggeration. Several of the conflicts he cited were not full-scale wars. Several remain unresolved. His own administration is threatening to strike Iran again, the same country he listed as one of his 8 peace deals. CBS noted that none of the long-standing issues between Israel and Iran were resolved by the June truce. The 2 sides exchanged airstrikes for 12 days and then stopped without a formal agreement. On Iran's nuclear program, Trump said the U.S. had obliterated it during Operation Midnight Hammer last June, then puzzlingly said Iran is starting it all over again. IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi, head of the United Nations nuclear watchdog, said in a recent interview that approximately 972 pounds of highly enriched uranium remain unaccounted for at Iran's damaged facilities. Satellite imagery shows active rebuilding. Iran's foreign ministry responded on Wednesday morning, calling Trump's claims big lies and a disinformation campaign. The IAEA has not certified that Iran's nuclear program was destroyed. On taxes, Trump said his administration passed the largest tax cuts in American history. The Tax Foundation, a nonpartisan organization, analyzed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed last summer and ranked it the 6th largest tax cut in U.S. history, not the largest. The Congressional Budget Office found the bulk of the tax savings flow to higher-income households. Families earning less than $55,000 per year will likely be worse off when reduced government benefits are factored in, the CBO found. On Minnesota and fraud, Trump claimed that members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer in Minnesota. CBS News fact-checkers found that the $19 billion figure refers to the total amount of federal funds allocated across more than a dozen state programs in Minnesota since 2018, not a confirmed fraud figure. The mastermind of Minnesota's largest confirmed fraud scheme, Feeding Our Future, is Amy Bach, who is white, not Somali. Now let's talk about what actually happened in the chamber, because that was its own story. Republican Congressman Al Green of Texas entered the chamber holding a sign reading "Black people aren't apes," and was escorted out. Representative Ilhan Omar shouted, "You have killed Americans," at the president. One of Omar's guests was arrested by Capitol Police for allegedly disrupting the proceedings. Some Democrats sat in silent opposition throughout. Others got up and left partway through. No Democrats applauded when Trump declared the Dow had broken $50,000, a claim made as the Dow sat at approximately 48 out of 800 following Monday's 822-point drop. A bipartisan standing ovation greeted the men's Olympic hockey team when they entered the gallery. Trump awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom to goalie Connor Hellebuyck and presented 2 medals of honor, including one to 100-year-old Korean war veteran E. Royce Williams, who had shot down 4 Soviet MiG fighters in a 1952 dogfight, receiving his medal 73 years later. Trump announced that the detained Venezuelan uncle of constituent Alejandra Gonzalez had been released and was present in the chamber. Trump also said, "The first year of the second term should be my third term." But strange things happened. He was referring to his claim that the 2020 election was stolen, and he said of tariffs, "Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time-tested and approved." That is a direct contradiction of what the Supreme Court ruled just 4 days earlier. That sweeping tariff authority requires explicit congressional authorization. The justices whose ruling he was dismissing were sitting in the front row. One moment Tuesday night stood apart from the partisan back and forth and deserves to be acknowledged directly. Trump told the story of Alejandra Gonzalez, a constituent whose uncle, Enrique Marquez, had run for office in Venezuela and been captured by the Maduro regime. Trump announced from the podium that not only had Marquez been released, but that he was present in the chamber. Gonzalez looked across the gallery and saw her uncle for the first time. It was a genuinely affecting moment, acknowledged by both sides of the aisle. The president also recognized E. Royce Williams, a 100-year-old retired Navy captain who fought 7 Soviet MiG fighters single-handedly during a 1952 Korean War dogfight, shooting down 4, and had never received formal recognition for it until Tuesday night. Melania Trump presented the Medal of Honor to Williams from the gallery. Regardless of what you think about any other part of the speech, those 2 moments were real and they mattered to the people in that room. There is one more exchange worth noting from Tuesday night because it goes to the heart of what this speech was actually about politically. Trump announced that Vice President J.D. Vance will lead a new war on fraud, tasked with rooting out waste and corruption across federal programs. He also asserted twice that congressional action on tariffs will not be necessary, describing the Section 122 and other tariff authorities as time-tested and approved. Legal scholars watching the speech noted the irony. The Supreme Court ruled 4 days ago that sweeping tariff authority requires explicit congressional authorization, and the president was telling Congress, with the justices present in the front row, that he does not need them. Speaker Johnson, sitting behind the president as he said it, did not visibly react. The Republican Party's current posture is to support the president's tariff agenda while simultaneously acknowledging, in private, that Section 122 is legally fragile, expires in 150 days, and that there is no consensus in the House for legislation to extend it. The polls released around the speech tell their own story. The NPR-PBS NewsHour Marist poll found 6 in 10 Americans believe the country is worse off than it was a year ago. An ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll found Trump's overall disapproval rating at 60%, the highest of his second term. He gave the longest State of the Union in American history to the most skeptical audience he has faced since returning to office. Governor Spanberger's Democratic response hit affordability, health care, and tariff costs. The issues polling shows Americans care most about heading into November's midterms. Stay with us.